You won't believe what the new supervisor just did. She suspended Angela. Here's the letter.
Oh, man. All right, let me take a look at this. All right, I guess they're saying he disobeyed an order?
Yeah, he says he's been asked to work in a job that he's not getting paid for.
All right, well, we could deal with the pay issue later, but I think, we're going to have to deal with this issue of complying with an order first.
Yeah, apparently this has been going on for a while. He just decided to complain today.
Well, if all he did was complain, then that's good for us, but a refusal to comply with a direct order, that's a completely different story. Find out what happened and make sure you ask Angelo if anybody else was there that witnessed this thing, because we need to get, the witnesses' statements right away.
Okay, Angela already told me that the supervisor told him that if he didn't want to do the job, she'd find somebody else.
Like I said, we need to find out exactly what happened. We need to find out who was there, and we need to find out in exactly their own words. I don't want hearsay, and we can't really, we need to find out in their words, and not their perceptions or interpretations of what happened.
Okay, there's a witness to part of the incident, so I'll talk to her.
Okay, good. Listen, if you can, go talk to Angelo and explain to him how he handled discipline cases in the grievance procedure and calm him down a little bit. He's probably a little upset right now. And I'll go talk to the supervisor and see if I can get, her version of the events while it's still fresh. All right? All right, cool.
Hi Sophia, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Thank you. Let's just go over what you're going to talk about in the grievance meeting tomorrow.
Okay. Right after it happened, I made some notes, so I think this will help us.
Okay, good. I think the union is going to demand that we prove that Angelo was insubordinate. So we need to review what exactly happened.
Okay. Well, as I told you, I went to Angelo. He'd been filling in for Roger for a couple of weeks, just for the lunch hour, and out of nowhere, he got an attitude and started complaining.
Oh, but that's what we have to prove, that you gave a reasonable order and Angelo refused to comply to it.
That's exactly what happened.
Yes, but we will have to prove the exact thing if this ever goes into arbitration. So I'm going to have you tell the story the way it happened, and just remember to give the facts.
Okay. Well, as I've done for almost 3.5 weeks, I went to Angelo and I asked him to cover for Roger again.
What words did you use?
I think I said, "Can you cover for him?"
Don't say "I think." Just say, "I told Angelo if he could cover again."
Okay. And then Angelo started complaining.
What words did he use?
I wrote this down. What did he say? Oh, he said, "Why are you always asking me? Why is it always me that has to cover for him?" And he started shaking his head no.
Okay, then what did you say?
I said, "Come on, let's go now." And I said it very firmly.
So did Angelo do it then?
No, he still started complaining, and in a loud voice, he said, "I don't get paid to do that," and he took a step towards me.
Oh, did you feel threatened?
I didn't feel so much threatened as I was frustrated. I asked him to do something. I needed it done. It wasn't getting done, and he was complaining.
So what did you say?
Well, when I started to tell him that if he didn't do it, I would get somebody else, and I would suspend him, just as I was saying I would suspend him, he interrupted me and said, "Go ahead, do it."
Oh, so did he do it then? Did he comply to your order?
No, he didn't. He walked away, and he said something about calling the union.
Okay.
All right, I just want to go over what this grievance meeting on Monday is going to be about, okay? It's a disciplinary case. Management's going to go first, and their argument is going to be that you did not comply with a direct order. We're going to say that there was no direct order given, that, it's basically a request. Can you do this? Okay?
Well, the only thing I asked for, and I feel it's not a big deal, is just to get paid for taking care of Roger's lunch
Yeah, the money's really not the issue here, Angelo. It's really what they're saying is it's insubordination, the failure to comply with the direct order.
Yeah, remember, like we always tell you, work now and grieve later, unless the work is unsafe or illegal.
To me, it was. She was asking me to do stuff. I was getting stressed out. She was always coming to me. It's not part of my job description. I feel like I reacted appropriately.
Okay, you might feel that way, but what we need to do is we need to, sit down, and if we need to call you as a witness in that hearing, we need to go over what, your version of the events was, and Tally's, who was a witness. So we need to get that straight if we need to call you.
The only settlement I honestly feel that you could do for me is just I want to get paid for the job I done over the course of a couple of weeks, which was taking care
Well,
of.
like I said before, now, that's a separate grievance. That's a separate hearing. What we're being brought in for is insubordination, which our defense is not, well, we need to get paid. Our defense is going to be that you never did not comply.
Over the course of a couple of weeks, I feel like this was at least a day's pay. I was doing this for over 2 weeks.
Okay, the contract is not so clear about that. So we're just gonna have to deal with the subordination issue first. And let's just go over what happened, okay? So let's go over what you're gonna say during the hearing,
Fine.
okay?
So I was there casually talking to Ali, and we were talking about, I don't remember exactly what we were talking about, and all of a sudden, the supervisor came. Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, we were outside, and you told me how distressed you were, how upset you were, and how he was picking up Roger's shifts, and he wasn't getting paid for them. So I told him, why don't you tell the union steward? And then the supervisor came by.
Yeah, well, I guess I should have told the steward, but I didn't.
Okay,
That's
so-
fine. I mean, it happened.
Okay, and what happened between you and the supervisor then?
Well, she approached me, to me, what I felt was in a confrontational manner. She was very rude, kind of in my face.
What do you
and-
mean exactly by rude?
Well, just the way she approached me. In fact, I remember her telling me hop to it, like who? I mean, I wouldn't talk to anyone like that, especially someone that I supervise. That's why she was talking to me. It just
Okay, when
wasn't
she
fair.
told you to hop to it, how did you respond?
Well, I told her it wasn't fair, and then from there, we went back and forth, and she said, I'll get someone else, and I was kind of relieved. And then she said, I'm going to suspend you. Okay. And the next thing you know, we're in the HR with the suspension matter.
Right. Well, what we need to do here is we need to convince, now we're going to meet with them, like I said, on Monday. We need to convince the director of human resources that they don't have a case, that any arbitrator is going to agree with us. And how we're going to do that is to say exactly what you just said, that, she offered somebody else to do the job. And you said, good, and you walked away, and she said, well, then you're suspended. That's going to poke a hole in their argument. And then we would have Tally,
Sure.
if we do have to call you, or Angelo, we need you to stay calm in there. We need you to not, elaborate too much. Short answers, yes and no. I don't know is also an answer. And, basically, tell the truth. You don't want to jam yourself up. Just tell the truth, exactly what you did here today.
Fine.
All right? Miss Maudson, Andrea, I think you definitely have a weak case, and I think if we go to arbitration, that you're going to lose. I think, you should remove the charges against Angelo and replace it with a letter of concern in his file and remove it after 3 months if there's no other incidents. I think that would be fair.
I think we have a strong case. You never know what an arbitrator will decide. However, Angelo has been a good worker, and we're not out to overly punish him.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see that you're being a bit reasonable.
However, Sophia's authority was questioned in front of everyone, and the whole workplace knows about this issue. We simply cannot remove the suspension.
We may have some flexibility on the number of days, but only if Angelo promises that this will not happen again. And your members also get to know that they cannot decide which orders to
Wait,
obey
there's no
and
order
which
here.
orders to deny.
There's no order. You're trying to strong arm us.
Hold on. You're right about that, but we've already covered that, and right now we're just trying to see if we can reach a settlement.
What would convince you guys that this wouldn't happen again? What do we have to do?
Okay, here's what Angelo has to do. He has to serve a 3-day suspension, and we will observe his performance for 6 months to make sure that such an incident doesn't happen again. And if his record is clear for 6 months, we will give him a day of vacation, which would effectively bring down the number of days to 2 days of suspension. And at that point, we could just replace the letter that had a 3-day suspension with the letter that has a 2-day suspension. It's simple as that.
Your settlement is unacceptable to Angelo and the union. Our members are waiting to see what's going to happen with this issue in regards to both the suspension and the pay issue. And furthermore, our members are very displeased with the way your supervision has been dealing with the workers. And we need to address that. And I think that an arbitrator's reversal of your suspension would cause the workers to lose respect for the authority that you think.
That's all the more reason why the suspension cannot be reversed. You are using this as a tactic to rile up your members. And the pay issue is a separate situation and a separate grievance altogether.
Not to me.
Well, you know what? Having your members applaud standing outside when Angelo arrived was cute, but that really doesn't change the fact that we have to run an efficient
Where are you going with this? The
operation.
reason why they're out there in the first place is because they know
It's just right.
this is
Supervisors
unfair.
don't know the contract.
She never issued a direct order.
Maybe you
It was
should
a
train your
request.
supervisor.
She actually had somebody else that
The most we are willing to do is to reduce the suspension to 1 day, with the understanding that if Angelo has an additional incident, he will serve the remaining 2 days.
We also want an agreement from you that you will report the settlement fairly and not really use it as a part of your campaign. We want you to print this in your newsletter and make it clear that workers need to obey first and grieve later.
If we are able to resolve this, we will look at your concern about employees working higher paying shifts during their lunch hour.
Okay, we're not there yet by any means, but let's take a look at your proposal
Alright,
and
take a look
see
at the
what
details
you
and
mean
we'll-
by.
see what we can do.
Okay.
Okay.
So how's everything going?
I'm fine. A little annoyed.
What's going on?
Well, the supervisor, Roger's on disability. and
Yeah.
She keeps asking me to fill him in, and I don't get paid for that.
Why don't you tell the union steward?
I would, but you know what? Here comes the supervisor. Watch, she's gonna ask me again.
Okay, bye. See you later.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi, Angelo. How are you?
I'm fine. How's everything?
It's good. Listen, I need you to help me out again. I need you to cover the lunch
Oh,
for
not-
Roger.
Not again, please. It's not part of my job description. I don't even get paid to do that.
I know, but it's just lunch. Come on, let's go.
I honestly don't feel comfortable doing it.
It's just lunch. Come on, hop to it.
Please, I don't want to do it.
You know what, Angelo? If you're not gonna do it, I'll find somebody
Fine,
else.
fine. Please, do me that favor.
I will find someone else, and you're suspended. Go
Wait,
home and
wait,
come
wait.
back on Monday.
You can't do that.
I just did.